I am Glenda, and this is Shaking Hands Art with Fralins and Friends. And we'd like to welcome all of our new people. And I'm going to be glad when Mahedi is back. He's my manager, and he has all the stuff to know how to make these things to have the best SEO scores and all that. I don't know what I did wrong. He made the banner or thumbnail that we used, but enough of that. He'll be back in a day or two. So we're going to start on, it's a biblical story from the Old Testament. Now, if you aren't of that, I mean, just stay for the art. And I mean, a lot of people could certainly enjoy the art of the Sistine Chapel and others. So, of course, I'm not I'm not claiming to be that good. We are going to start this. It's the story of Abraham and Isaac. Isaac was his son. To give some, try and give some quick background. God told Abraham that him and Sarah would have a son and name him Isaac. Sarah was well advanced in years. Well, so was Abraham. But she had been barren all this time. She didn't have any faith that she would be able to bear a child. And so she convinced Abraham of this, and of course he let himself be convinced too. And when God says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So she brought in her handmaid Hagar and said that she would claim him. If she bore him a son, then she would claim that son. And that would be his Isaac. Well, Hagar got pregnant and did have a son. But God said, you will not name this son Isaac. This is not Isaac. So he was named Ishmael. And then later, Sarah, as God promised, did conceive, and she bore a son, and they named him Isaac. There came a time when Sarah and Hagar were clashing. Hagar had to be sent away. She was sent toward Egypt, and so she was kind of in the desert, I think. But God talked to her, or sent an angel to talk to her, and said, do not worry. He was going to watch out for them, and he was going to have nations come up through Ishmael as well. So then came a time when God wanted to test Abraham. And he was going to give him the hardest test he had ever had in his life. And that is this. That's what we're going to do. And the test was that he was to take Isaac and take him and build an altar on a mountain that God told him to. And he was going to have him, he told him, you will offer Isaac as a burnt offering. That sounds pretty bad. Don't question God. I mean, he questioned God and he didn't do things the right way. So this is why I believe he is testing Abraham. So Abraham follows, he gathers all the sticks and materials that he will be needing. And I don't think Abraham was happy to do this, but I think he was being obedient, which was the whole idea. Now I'm going to start painting this. All right, I'm going to do some background here, but what I want to do I hope you guys watched the one about the storms and stuff that we had last Friday. So I'm going to build a stone altar. I'm going to start down here. Right now I'm just going to put stones come in all different sizes, so we're going to vary them a little bit. That looks too hewn. Too chiseled. You're supposed to gather stones and stack them. At least that's the idea I always got when it came to. Not that there weren't... people back then did things a lot more than people I'll give them credit for. And they've been finding that out. They just only admit it when it suits them. They actually did find surgical equipment made out of, I don't know, different things. They found things that looked very much like a scalpel and other instruments. If I don't know if anybody remembers that Adam actually planted crops because God said that's how it's going to be when they kicked him out of the garden. He would live by the toil of his hands. Okay. I want to streak some. Trying to just streak a little bit of black through here. I'll mix it in a little bit better, but not too much. A lot of times in a stone there'll be bits of sandstone. Was a big one back then. Like even limestone will have sandstone in it. Sometimes there'll be. Have you guys ever found a geode and opened it up? They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Okay, we have a stone altar. And when God directed Abraham to take Isaac, he said, your only son, Isaac. He was expressing it that way because, yes, we know that biologically he did have another son. He was, I guess you wouldn't say he was illegitimate, even though, because it was approved by Sarah and she considered that that would be her son as well. Of course, Hagar had to keep him and breastfeed him till he was big enough. By that time they had Isaac, and so things went a little different. And Sarah was not so happy. That doesn't mean that God didn't keep his promise or his blessings. But he did make him go through a big test. I'm not making these look like sticks, which is what I wanted to do. Okay, we'll just leave that row like it is. And start making some thinner sticks. But we're going to go this way. Trying to make them look like they're laying down on this. I may have to, after this dries, do another bunch of sticks to make it look more like sticks. That don't look a lot like sticks. Not like I wanted it to. I already reassured you that that God does call him off as far, but it's kind of giving you some relief. I hope that God's people did not really do human sacrifice. But in this sense, God was testing. The Israelites nation hadn't even been, it was 2 generations away yet. The only human sacrifice was Jesus Christ, because he was the only one. He was divine Son of God. You know, they didn't mow grass back then. Although they did have their scythes and stuff. They threshed. They would cut it and thresh it. So like wheat. But he had him go to a mountain to do this. Or a mount, I don't know. I'll read through it again for accuracy. No people in there yet tonight. I will start on people tomorrow after I finish all this background. Hopefully bring the story together. That is it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll add more. And I'm determined to get a human-looking human. The story of Abraham and this part of it you can find in Genesis 22. And it's very interesting reading. So, in fact, all of Genesis, all of the Bible is. But I will talk to you tomorrow. I love you. There's your smile and wave. You share that. And I will be back.
Our hearts beat to the city.